Hi, this is Science Chef. In this video, we'll be teaching you how to balance chemical equations. Now, why do we need to balance chemical equations? We balance chemical equations in order to obey the law of conservation of mass, or what we call law of conservation of matter, which states that matter can neither be created nor destroyed, but can be changed from one form to another. Now, this law is an extension of one of the postulates of the Dalton's atomic theory, which says that atoms are neither created nor destroyed during a chemical reaction, which means that if a chemical equation is not balanced, then we are saying that atoms would have been created or destroyed, which is against the Dalton's atomic theory. That is only in chemical reactions. So we'll be looking at two methods, the trial and error method and the algebraic method. I know that most of you are familiar with the trial and error method, but algebraic method may be a bit strange. So if you want to know how to use algebraic method to balance chemical equations, please ensure you watch this video to the end. All right, let's go. We look at the rules for the trial and error method, right? The first rule says, do not change the formula of reactants and products of an equation. Do not change the formulae of the reactants and products of an equation. That is a taboo. When you change the formulae of reactants or products and products of an equation, you have just committed a taboo in chemistry, all right? So why is it necessary not to change the formula of reactants and products of an equation? Remember, chemistry is a science that deals with symbols and formula. So let's say we have H2O. We have H2O in an equation, which is water. And in that equation, the number of oxygen atoms on one side of the equation is 2. And you want to balance that here, right? So what do? You now use what? You do this H2O2 in trying to balance the number of oxygen on the other side of the equation. By doing H2O2, you have just altered the formula of this compound, right? This is water, right? Innocently, you've destroyed water. This is water, whereas this is what? Hydrogen peroxide. So these are two different things, all right? These are two different things. So that's why you must not alter the formula of the reactant or the product, all right? Good. Then the second rule is that you must count the number of atoms of each element on both sides of the equation to see if they are balanced, right? Because at times you may not even need to balance the equation, right? If you count the number of atoms on both sides, you might just find out that the equation is already balanced. Example, the reaction of calcium oxide and carbon dioxide to give us calcium trioxocarbonate 4. Right? If you don't count the number of atoms of the elements on both sides of the equation, you might just end up doing a useless work, right? But if you do that, you'll find out that this equation is already is self-balanced, right? So let's look at this. We have one atom of calcium on the left-hand side and one atom of calcium on the right-hand side. We have 3 atoms of oxygen, 1 plus 2, that's 3 on the left-hand side. And we also have 3 atoms of oxygen on the right-hand side, right? We have 1 atom of carbon on the left-hand side and 1 atom of carbon on the right-hand side. So with this, now you can see that the equation is balanced. You don't need to do anything, right? So that's why you must first of all count the number of atoms of each element on both sides of the equation to see if they are balanced. So if they are not balanced, what do you now do? You move on to the next step, which is use coefficients to balance the atoms and not subscripts. Note that a coefficient multiplies each element in the formula. What's a coefficient? A coefficient is simply a number that is placed in front of the formula. Remember your math. When you were doing algebra, you said 2x plus 3y. 2 and 3 are coefficients? Because they are placed in front of a formula, which in this case are unknown, x and y. So in chemistry, this x and y would be formula of compounds or elements. Are we together? So when you want to balance the equation, you place coefficients in front and you don't use subscripts. Subscript is what I explained earlier. You alter the formula of the substance if you use subscript. If you use coefficient, you will not alter the formula of the substance. So example, want to balance the equation for what? Let's say water. Hydrogen reacts with what? Oxygen to give us what? H2O, that's water. All right. So how many hydrogen atoms do we have here? We have 2. How many do we have on the right-hand side? We also have 2. And how many oxygen atoms do we have on the left-hand side? We have 2, right? 2 atoms. 1, 2. 1 times 2, that's 2. And how many do we have on the right-hand side? We have 1. Remember, you might be wondering, how is it 1? How is it 2? Yes, we don't have anything in front of the species or the substance, right? When no number is indicated in front of the substance, it means that there's an invisible 1 there. That is 1 mole. The same way in mathematics, your 1 is always what? Invisible. Like this, that's 1x. This x, that's 1x. Where is what? 2x. That's x plus x, right? And this is 3 what? Y. That's y plus y plus y. Y into 3 places, right? And this is just a single word, y, right? This 1y, this 1x. So the same thing applies in what? Chemistry. So this is 1 mole of hydrogen, 1 mole of oxygen, and 1 mole of what? Water, right? So this one here multiplies all the atoms here. Are we together? That's what they mean. So now, in an attempt to balance oxygen, we end up adding what? 2 here. You see, the offense that we're told not to commit in rule number 1 is what we have just committed here. H2O2. Yes, the atoms are balanced. 2 hydrogen on the left-hand side, 2 atoms of hydrogen on the right-hand side, 2 atoms of oxygen on the left-hand side, 2 atoms of oxygen on the right-hand side. But what has happened? You have changed the substance. The original equation was hydrogen plus oxygen giving us water, but we've now changed it to hydrogen and oxygen giving us what? Hydrogen peroxide. So that is not what we want. So what do? We do what? We use what? A coefficient. And by using a coefficient, what happens here? So we put a 2 in front of this. So instead of putting the 2 for oxygen here, right, we put it in front of what? Water. And this 2 now multiplies everything. Are we together? This now gives us what? 2 atoms of oxygen, 2 times 1, that's 2, on the right-hand side, and 2 atoms of oxygen on the left-hand side, right? But now the number of atoms of hydrogen has changed. Can you see? The number of atoms of hydrogen on the right-hand side is now 4. 2 times 2, that's 4. Whereas on the left-hand side is 2. So in balancing oxygen, you have unbalanced what? Hydrogen. So that then takes us to the next step, which is what? Start balancing from the most complex compound and then balance the molecular element what? Last. So look at this. In this equation, the most complex compound here was what? Water, right? Because it's more difficult to balance the most complex compound or the complex compounds when the other molecular elements are balanced, right? But if you are balancing the molecular element last, it's easy to manipulate it to get what you want. So if you, by balancing this water first, which is the most complex compound here, we can now easily balance what? Hydrogen, right? We can easily balance hydrogen by doing what? We bring this down again. H2 plus what? O2, giving us what? 2H2O. So in order to balance hydrogen, we just multiply it by what? 2. So with this, we now have 2H2 plus O2, giving us what? 2H2O. Then we now move to the last step. We repeat step what? 2. What is step 2 tell us? Step 2 told us what? 2. Count the number of atoms of each element on both sides of the what? Equation to see if they are what? Balanced. Otherwise, we don't need it full. Now that we have balanced this, let's now count our number of atoms to see if they are what? Balanced. So here, hydrogen is what? 2 times 2, that's what? 4 atoms on the left-hand side. On the left-hand side. 2 times 2, that's 4, right? Then on the right-hand side, what do we have for hydrogen? 2 times 2. Hydrogen is also what? 2 times 2, which is what? 4. Then oxygen is what? 1 times 2, which is what? 2 on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, oxygen is 2 times 1. That gives us what? 2. So with this, now you can see that a number of hydrogen and oxygen atoms are what? balance. What we'll now do next to balance series of what? Chemical what? Equations. All right.